we are in Samizi Fish Hatchery. By the names of Nodo Charles. I work as a fish consultant within Samizi Fish Project. This is the fish hatchery. We have 8 tanks. 2 tanks work as incubation tanks. 6 tanks are for nursing fish. And in the hatchery here, we shall be spawning fish, nurse it to fingerling stage when they get ready for stocking in the ponds. This is tank 1 and tank 2 for in the incubation process. Then we have the 6 remaining tanks for nursing, the fry to the fingerling stage. And in these tanks is where we do the incubation of eggs, which later hatch into larvae. The fish we use for breeding inside here, we get it from certified fish breeders. If not that, we even pick them from zonal agricultural research and development organizations like Mbarara, Naro. And when we bring them here, we bring the males and females. The females give us the eggs, then we get the males to give us the milt, which we use to fertilize the eggs, and we incubate them in these tanks. It takes only 24 hours, they hatch into larvae. After they have hatched into larvae, we start nursing them to the fry stage. Immediately they get to the fry stage from these tanks, then we transfer them to the second level of tanks, where we nurse them to the fingerling stage until they graduate to the size stockable into the ponds. We pump water from a shallow well to the 2 reserve tanks, one outside on the stand, another one inside the hatchery, as you see. This water is the one we use to sustain fish in this hatchery. And inside here also, we have the aeration system, which is by the compressor here. The compressor pumps air from the atmosphere through the transfer tubes, from the transfer tubes into the low pressure diffuser, which you see here. And this diffuser mixes air into the water to boost the oxygen levels in the water for the fish to survive in this tank. Here we have an oxygen cylinder. This one helps us to work as an oxygen backup. In case power is off and there is fish in these tanks, we can use this oxygen cylinder to supply oxygen in the nursing tanks. It has a regulator, and this is a hose pipe which helps us to connect to the distribution tubes in the tanks. This one is a scoop net. These ones are used for scooping fish. In case we are going to grade, you can scoop it, put it in a basin with water where you want it to be, and take it for grading. We don't transfer fish from one place to another without water. Fish moves in water, so that's why we use these scoop nets to help us harvest them without touching them. Here I'm holding an air transfer tube, but on it is connected with a T air valve, which helps us to regulate the amount of air or oxygen which has to be diffused in the water. So these ones help us to reduce or increase the amount of air or oxygen released into the water, such that we do not cause the fish to be stressed due to too much bubbling, but at the same time we are able to regulate the amount of oxygen we are using, so that we don't use too much where it is not necessary. The 8 tanks we have in this hatchery can give us a production capacity of 200,000 fingerlings, and the breeding can be at least every after 2 months for each batch to get out. But if at all the demand is higher, we can increase it to at least 2 batches every 2 months.